Welcome, guys. I got a special guest who was born in football culture, football heritage. So, uh, yeah, I don't want to say anything else. You can talk yourself. I know you love football, but you love Brighton more than football, I think.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, completely guilty of being a mainly Premier League fan, but obviously when it's the Champions League final, I do get a bit excited for that too.
You're going to watch, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. It'd be weird to
No,
watch all the matches running up to this and not watch the final, yeah.
yeah, no. Like lots of people still. I ask around when I go to, school or I try to travel. I ask the people. They say, "Oh, Champions League final." I just I don't know, like nowhere near. They still don't know Champions League final, so that keeps me like shocked.
I mean, what? It's the second biggest game in football after the World Cup final, right?
Exactly. Oh, well, move on. Oh, you want to talk about just Dortmund and Real Madrid, but I mean, Real Madrid is a, favorite anyhow. Anybody will say, but Dortmund is a underdog. They started with the group Dortmund, PSG, AC Milan, and Newcastle, and nobody thought they will finish. Number one, top of the table. And from top of the table, from that group to going to the Champions League, what a journey! What do you make about this journey about Dortmund?
Yeah, I mean, they had a tough group. Not easy games at all, and they played well. I mean, what was it? It was Newcastle, was it PSG,
AC Milan,
um, and Milan? Yeah, and I think they lost the
yeah,
very first game to PSG, which I
yeah.
think is
They
fair
lost
enough.
first game, but they six. They were the top. This group they're the top. So imagine how tough it was, how challenging it was
Yeah,
for them.
yeah, and they end up winning the whole group. I mean, it's incredibly impressive. Um, but it's they've exceeded my expectations. But then you look at Real Madrid's group, and they also absolutely dominated their group. I mean, undefeated, right?
I mean, yeah, exactly. They faced round of 16 PSV, who had a great season on the league, and they had a great season. Ajax were undefeated. Last few years under Erik ten Hag. Now PSV has been great team. They just back the way they should have done earlier, and they faced Atletico Madrid. And I heard from some news. Previous years that Pep Guardiola always find difficult to play against Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone, because Diego Simeone plays 6'7" center back. Defense 6'7". So it's really difficult to score, and they did that, and they beat PSG. PSG didn't have any chance to score. They missed. They had a shot on Bamboo, but they didn't score against Dortmund. I mean, if you look at PSV to PSG, what do you make? What did you think about this? Dortmund will go, but just they will out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Dortmund have really done well getting where they are. I mean, Terzic at this point, how long has he been with Dortmund? He's been there like at least 10 years, right? He knows the team
Yeah,
so well at this point. He really knows how to get the best out of them. And they have a few veteran players, right? I mean, obviously Royce being the big heavy hitter. Um, I mean, we're surprised. We say we're surprised, but they also very nearly won the Bundesliga only last season. Obviously they've had a little bit of a um, rougher season in the Bundesliga this year, but they're one of the best teams in Germany, so we shouldn't be too surprised that they're getting to this stage of the tournament.
Well, yeah, last year they had, I mean, they were just near the, I mean, river, I mean, brink of the river. That, I mean, they should
I'm
have
still
won, but
sad
there
about
was,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that is the gut. But I mean, I was shocked. How did they beat Atletico Madrid? You were surprised.
Huge win. Huge win. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was in style too. It was a great game. I mean,
It
I'm
was
so happy
4-5.
that yeah, 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 great comeback. I mean, it's two teams that have an incredible mindset. You know, Real Madrid, they just never give up, right? And Dortmund, it's like a unstoppable force versus an immovable object, right? They're both just they've both got winning mentalities.
Yeah, I mean, the team are, I mean, team, you talk about the staff member, you talk about the back of the stage. I mean, every people, I mean, they're fans. You talk about Real Madrid, you talk about, I mean, Dortmund. I mean, I like personally, I feel Dortmund has the best fan base in the world. I don't know what you make, but they have a best fan base. If you go, you'll be mad.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, personally, of course, I think Brighton's got a pretty good fan base, but Dortmund, they're so passionate, aren't they? Um, I guess Real Madrid fans have almost got used to winning. You know,
Yeah,
they don't expect anything less. So of course they expect to win this. Dortmund, it would mean the world to them, right? They're going to paint the town yellow if they did win.
yeah, exactly. Okay, like I mean, if if you see the final match, I mean, do you think is there any chance that I mean Dortmund can win against Real Madrid? If you look at the Real Madrid comeback, I mean they beat Bayern, they beat Manchester City. I mean they were supposed to lose against RB Leipzig, but I mean there is some controversy, new controversy. I mean decision
Oh
from
yeah,
referee, there was goal or not.
huge controversy.
So what do you think?
I mean, so you'd be you'd be an idiot to say Real Madrid aren't the favorites, right? They are the favorites, but I do not want to discount Dortmund. I'm a huge fan of an underdog story, and they obviously are the underdogs. But when you look at Madrid's performance recently, they haven't been massively convincing. I mean, against City, they let what 4 goals in the first game, and they ended up winning on penalties, right? And it was only because of
Yeah,
Lunin that they ended up really, you know, he's a monster in penalties. He's got an insane record. If it wasn't for Lunin, right, they probably wouldn't be in the final at all. And Lunin might not even be starting the final. It seems like Courtois is going to be starting.
okay, I mean, I just want to make sure there is update news today. I mean, Lunin will not travel to London. He has been caught by flu, so there is like doubt that he will not be starting the lineup. But Courtois still is. I mean, he played last few games. I mean, still he is that guy. Like we supposed to watch him like he used to play before injury. So it's still Courtois.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Lunin or Courtois, it's still, you know, it's not. They're not going to have anyone. They're in safe hands either way.
Yeah, like who will be the? I mean, you think who will be the player that can carry Dortmund? Obviously, we know that Jadon Sancho, that guy. I mean, he has been. I mean, when he moved from Man United to Dortmund, I mean, he has been massive for Edin Regis. I mean, he has been back his own form. Like we, who
I
can? I
mean,
mean, who will be the player that you can depend?
Fulkrug has been incredible. He's been a goal scoring machine. I think Sabitzer, you know, I first really learnt about Sabitzer when he was a Man United player, and that didn't go too well. But he's clearly done really well coming back to Dortmund. Sancho, he's coming back from injury. And again, another Manchester United reject. So it's great to see Sancho doing well. It's obviously going to be Royce, but I've got my eye on there. Everyone's going to hope he does well, right? I really think the thing with Dortmund though is it's not just a standout player. They're a well-oiled machine, and they clearly get along together so well.
Yeah. I mean, do you think like Matson, that guy from Chelsea to loan? I mean, he has been, I don't know like where to say it. I don't have any words to describe this guy. Like I never expect Matson will be so good for Dortmund, and his performance and the center back. I mean, Mats Hamles, you know this guy. He's been old, 35 years old maybe. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So I just kind of feel like Dortmund still have those chance. I mean, compared to 2013, that Bayern against Bayern at Wembley. I mean, Dortmund still have the chance because if I look at Real Madrid,
For sure,
you
yeah.
know nobody is going to score. There is no one you can depend is going to score. Maybe Real Madrid will score somebody like Rudiger, like Ferland Mendy. I think
I
so.
love Rudiger. I am a big Rudiger fan. When he played for Chelsea, he was definitely one of my favorite Premier League players. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be tight. I wouldn't really
Yeah,
be
but
willing to put money either on either side. It would be one of the greatest upsets of all time. But yeah, I mean, no one's going to be surprised. Just for quality in the Real Madrid team. Of course, being an Englishman, I wouldn't be the saddest person in the world to see Bellingham winning in Wembley. That's probably quite a good sign for the upcoming Euros. Um, so I guess for me, it's a win-win either way.
okay. But I mean, if you look at Real Madrid, you can still feel like they have like, I mean, bench, Arda Güler, Brahim Diaz. I mean, even Dani Ceballos, that guy. I mean, I know Dani Ceballos from when he came to Arsenal. I mean, that transfer, he was really good first year. Then he was vanished. I mean, nowhere near. But when he got subbed for Real Madrid, he plays. Still, he looks solid. He looks something like you can defend. But I don't know what type of, I mean, gene. I mean, you can talk about gene. I mean, DNA. Real Madrid got, but whoever goes there and whoever play for them, and those players they got like big role. I mean, who thought Hussein is going to score against Bayern? Who thought will be the key player? Did I mean when Real Madrid signed Joselu, I was like, did Real Madrid actually did this? Are Real Madrid crazy signing Joselu? I mean, so I don't know,
Yeah,
like
I mean
Real
that
Madrid
was a
favorite. Okay, go on, go on.
it was just a huge go from Joselu. Really impressive player. Um, I mean, they've got huge goal scoring threat, don't they? Vinny Jr. I mean, Bellingham himself, even though he's not a striker, he scored 19 goals, I think I saw earlier in La Liga.
20, I think, 20, I
Um,
think. Yeah,
20,
somewhere around.
yeah. And he's not even a striker, and he's scoring 20 goals in the season. Um, so they're not short on goal threat at all. Um, and of course one of the best defenses in the world. So the ball's definitely in their park.
I mean, do you think Dortmund has to defend like Tiger? I mean, like no one they have to defend like Tiger. I
Absolutely.
mean, I don't know how to describe, but I got this word Tiger. Like, yeah, they have to defend like Tiger. Yeah, this is the time we have to do it against Real Madrid against Spurs.
It will be an incredibly tough game for them. I mean, if they can put four past Man City, who are, widely regarded as one of the best defending teams in the world, and they can put 4 goals past them, I do dread to think what they can do to Dortmund if it's a good day for them. Um, I mean, it's either going to be 0-0 and it goes to extra time, penalties. Dortmund could win that way, or it's going to be a Real Madrid up to chaos and destruction, and both will be very entertaining.
Yeah, I think so. But how do you make that it will be a draw? I mean, 0-0 when you have a Luka Modric, when you have a Toni Kroos, those players, the amount of I mean, they can think about the next pass before I mean receiving the ball. Before receiving the ball, how do you think those guys is not going to make a good pass?
Well, that's why I think they're going to win.
Yeah,
It
that's
will,
easy question.
yeah.
I mean,
One of the other highly entertaining things I think's going on is it'll be Cruz's last chance to win a big trophy, right? It will definitely be exciting to see him go out on a high. It'd be a shame at the end of, well, it's not exactly like he needs any more trophies. It'd be a shame to see him finish on a low.
where do you rank Toni Kroos? He's retiring at the top of the top. I mean, you can talk about so many players. I mean, Xavi, Iniesta. I mean, I just remember only one player, that's Zinedine Zidane. He just retired at the top of the top. So Toni Kroos is finishing
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the top of the top. I mean, where do
very
you
tough.
rank him? I mean, among all the top, I mean, best midfielders, Steven Gerrard, Xavi, Iniesta. I mean, all the incredible midfielders. Where do you rank Toni Kroos?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be top three, right? The crazy thing is that he's playing alongside arguably one of the other best midfielders of all time in Modric, right? And they play for the same team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Modric is going to be in the starting 11. Is he even fit at the moment? I'm not too sure. Um, but
Yeah,
I don't think he's not going to be starting. But the fact that they play together, two of the best midfielders of all time, Zidane has to be top three. He's top three.
Okay, if you make your team, will you choose Toni Kroos or Luka Modric?
If Modric was one of the players who was in the Croatia team that knocked out England in the Euros, I think in 2016. I think it was the semi-final. I'd have to check that. But on that alone, I'm going to pick Cruz because I don't have that personal vendetta against him.
How still you got like I mean Toni Kroos. I just think his eyes when he plays, like people see them in the game. Sometimes I see like the way he sees the game. That's not everybody can see. Even you can talk about, I mean, great midfielders and Pirlo. I mean, Zidane also. He is like a legend. Like I mean, you can make him as a, like idol. But Toni Kroos, he knows the next pass before getting the ball. I mean,
It's
what
like
he's
he's a
going to next.
FIFA player, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you like I heard from Declan Rice. I mean, he talked about Toni Kroos. He said he's one of the players that you don't know. You are near to him, He's not going to receive the ball. Anyhow, he's going to give another guy to pass the ball. When you are left, he's receiving right. When you are right, he is receiving
Yeah.
left. And like
Some of
one
his
touch,
long
two touch.
passes are sensational. Yeah.
I mean, perfect. The way he just assisted against Bayern. And you remember the El Clasico, Vinicius score. I mean, those passes. I mean, genius. I just feel like I will miss this guy. I will miss this guy. And another question is that Ancelotti. I mean, I don't know. You reckon Pep, Jurgen Klopp, but I see Ancelotti is one of the manager that you have to put after Alex Ferguson on. I mean, at the same of the table to them, because these guys. I mean, their longevity is not just a small; it's very long. And he talked about like German teams. It's always difficult to play against German teams. He mentioned
Yeah.
Leipzig, Bayern. So how do you make, his comments on this?
I mean, Ancelotti's incredible. I mean, of course, Ferguson's always going to be number one. But Ancelotti, Pep, I think they've still got a lot of feuding to do between them. I think we're still going to have quite a few years of Ancelotti versus Pep, which is very exciting. Of course, Ancelotti's won it this year between the two of them. I will remind you, and I'll remind anyone when talking about Ancelotti, is his stint at Everton very recently, which Pep's never quite had a season like Ancelotti had at Everton. So I still rate Pep maybe ever so slightly higher. Though
No,
who's to
I just
say? Maybe if Pep was at Everton, he wouldn't do a great job either.
I don't know, like, but Ancelotti, Everton is fighting with the relegation. You know, Everton is fighting with relegation after leaving Ancelotti for Real. I mean, he finished 12 with Everton and with that team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, very true, very true. He
that
did
makes
bring
sense.
James Rodriguez though, and I think
Yeah,
that's still haunting Everton with the financial fair play rules.
yeah. I don't know, like, if there are lots of conversation about this Pep. Do you think, if like everybody's talking about Pep, he is a great manager, no doubt. He's a mastermind. But if you see Pep is taking Burnley right now, and from Championship to winning Champions League, do you think Pep will do these things ever? Because Pep always won the second team, first team and second team with the same amount of player, same skill,
Right.
same talent.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time since we've seen Pep manage a team that wasn't essentially at the top already. So Ancelotti definitely the more versatile manager. Hopefully we get to see Pep move somewhere a bit more interesting when he moves on from City, and we might be able to compare them a bit more fairly.
I think he will move to Paris. Paris, who knows?
To Paris, oh, I wouldn't want him to go to Paris. I think that'd be a shame. He'd do
Yeah,
great
no.
things with the team, of course, but I can't support PSG.
Well, that's who knows. We will see. But there is rumors he might leave. But anyhow, what's your prediction? Who is going to win? You are supporting underdog Dortmund.
Prediction, of course, I am supporting Dortmund, but realistically, I think 2-1, 2-1 to Madrid.
So Madrid winning 15 titles, Champions League.
15 titles. It's going to be quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, 15. Yeah. So you are happy that Jude Bellingham will lift the title his first year.
That's going to be my way of coping with my slight disappointment. At least Bellingham wins in Wembley, and hopefully he's all hyped up for the summer with England.
Yeah. Okay. Before going to, just we're going to finish. Champions League. Do you think Jude Bellingham will be the? He is the key player also for England midfield right now. You talk about Declan Rice, you can talk about, Phil Foden or Cole Palmer. They will go. They will play for midfield.
Mm.
Do you think Jude Bellingham will play his role like he is doing with Real Madrid? Or Gareth Southgate will get those. You need those. Rhythm. You need those type of performance. It's not like 20 matches. It's about like 6, 7 match that you have to win. You cannot lose.
Of course, I hope. I hope he plays for England like he does at Madrid. I think there's two big problems. The biggest being Southgate is not Ancelotti. Even Southgate's biggest fans, I don't think are saying he's quite as good as Carlo. I think the other problem is whilst I do rate the England team highly, we are still missing out in some pretty key areas of the team. In defence mainly. Our centre backs, Maguire, Lewis Dunk, good players, but they're not Rudiger. And of course, with a weaker defence, Bellingham has to play a slightly more defensive position. Of course, fingers crossed he has the same form, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will talk another day about Euro. It's coming, and I hope Euro is coming home. I hope so because Gareth Southgate was always near final, semi-final. I feel sad for Gareth Southgate. He deserves some trophy because he's been doing good job with England. It's fair to say, but when it's like big team, he's going to play against big team. There he fails. That's just I don't understand. Those are. Mistake. I don't know. It's a decision wise. I don't know like where he goes those moments. I don't know why. We'll see. Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much for your great time, and we will talk soon.
No worries.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me. Thank you.